The Commonwealth wasteland is littered with copious amounts of junk. It's also filled with plentiful enemies that contain valuable weapons, armor, ammunition, and medical supplies. Plowing through your enemies, looting their bodies for the aforementioned items, and then selling the rest is a great way to get a surplus of caps and ammo. But what if you couldn't do that? What if you had to craft every piece of armor on your body, every stim pack that entered your bloodstream, and every bullet that you fired? Ladies and gentlemen, today we are gonna be finding out, can you beat Fallout 4 with only junk? Our journey begins in beautiful sunny Sanctuary Hills, and after giving myself a prominent jawline, thick set of lips, and my wife the complete fucking opposite, we were ready to go. I had a slight idea of the build that I wanted to do, so while I create my character, let's go over the rules of this challenge. Number 1, I am not allowed to pick up anything that is classified as weapon, ammo, or armor. I'm also not allowed to pick up any meds or chems such as jet, stimpaks, or rataways, but food, drink, and caps that I find in the wasteland are all fair game. Number 2, I am allowed to keep quest rewards even if they fall into the above criteria. Cry about it. Number 3, any weapons, ammo, armor, meds, or chems have to be created with my own 2 hands using crafting stations. This is normally not possible in vanilla Fallout, so this video would not have been possible without the crafting workbenches mod created by Dr. Denzel. Even though this mod is like fucking 6 years old and there's an updated version that I probably should have used, I'll leave a link in the description and shout out to Dr. Denzel. Anyway, the world ended, my wife got shot, and my son got kidnapped, so I was free to roam about the vault. I set my difficulty to hard and beat a couple roaches to death while scrounging the vault for any junk that I could use. I did eventually happen upon the Overseer's office filled with all sorts of items that I couldn't use, including a 10mm pistol, several stim packs, and a healthy supply of ammunition. I begrudgingly left them all behind and went to go pick up my Pip-Boy, escape the vault, strip down to my tidy whities, and start ransacking Sanctuary for any junk that I could find. After running in circles for 30 minutes around Sanctuary, I grilled up some red roach for the road and ventured out to the Red Rocket truck shop to pick up my best friend dog meat and some more junk. I also went underneath the Red Rocket truck shop into the mole rat den to get my hands on a free fusion core, only to realize with horror that my shiny new fusion core is classified as ammo. God fucking damn it. After gathering enough junk, I hightailed it back to Sanctuary so I could spam place wooden shelves to power level a few times and unlock the blacksmith and gun nut perks. This allowed me to create my very own weaponsmith workbench, where after much decision I settled on crafting a pipe bolt action rifle and a sledgehammer. I also had enough junk to create an ammunition station where I could begin crafting .308 caliber bullets. At this point in the playthrough, junk was very limited, so crafting the highest caliber bullets that I could so I could save on material was the strategy that I had in mind. With my shitty weapon in hand, I began making my naked ass over to Concord to rescue Preston, and of course pick up some more junk. My bullets were very minimal, but I dealt with the raiders easily enough. I didn't have many options for healing, but luckily I anticipated this. That's right, I became a fucking cannibal. I figured that stim packs would be difficult to come by in this playthrough, so the cannibalism perk would make sure that I always have a steady source of healing whenever I needed it. Preston wanted me to bust him and his group out of Concord, Sturgis wanted me to use the power armor and minigun, and Mama Murphy wanted fucking meth or something. When I made my way to the roof and saw the power armor Sturgis was talking about, I thought that using power armor would make the playthrough too easy, so I ignored it and attempted to make my way down. Safely, making sure to loot every last piece of junk and kill every last raider. But unfortunately, when the deathclaw came, I had absolutely no bullets left. For about 10 fucking minutes, I danced around with this little shit until eventually he got low enough for me to run up, finish the job, and send him 30 feet into the fucking sky. Preston and his group of smooth brains headed over to Sanctuary, where I put them to work on these scavenging stations. I've never actually known what these did, but I think they generate random pieces of junk. Maybe, hopefully, I don't actually know. Anyway, I made my way back over to the Red Rocket truck shop as it did have a chemistry station that I knew I could use. I crafted a rataway for myself and I was restored to full HP. but I still needed to figure out my ammo situation, as the overgrown lizard had left me with none. I also crafted some Molotov cocktails, bear traps, and caltrops that will come in handy later. By this point in the playthrough, I was still very much naked and afraid. I had no more ammo, and I was starting to realize how difficult this challenge could become. Creating 50 308 rounds costs 10 copper, 5 lead, and 5 steel. Copper and steel is pretty manageable to get, but lead? Good fucking luck. The only pieces of junk that you can get lead from is weights, pencils, shipments, and makeshift batteries. That is fucking it. With my dire junk situation, I built a junk workbench because I saw it under the crafting section and I figured I'd check out what it can do. Which, long story short, you can use your junk to create more junk. For like decorations or something, I don't know. I started making the slow walk down to Diamond City where I conveniently found Carla. She had a whole bunch of shit that I couldn't buy, but she did also happen to have a pencil, which I very much needed. A little further down the road, I found a standoff happening at the Drumlin Diner. I told Wolfgang I would help him out, and then I set him ablaze with my Molotovs. Trudy was very thankful and gave me caps for my trouble. She also happened to be selling a pencil as well, which means that I was now able to craft more bullets. I gotta be honest, I'm not too sure why, maybe because I'm a moron. I kept walking to Diamond City instead of going to craft more bullets, and I came upon Paladin Dance and the Brotherhood of Steel. Me and my sledgehammer gave them a helping hand with their ghoul problem, and I was welcomed into Cambridge Police Station, which I promptly ransacked every nook and cranny for every piece of junk that was in the vicinity. With my newfound junk collection, I headed back to Sanctuary to craft some much needed clothes and ammunition. God, I look like such a fucking stud. Anyway, me and Paladin Dance geared up to go tackle ArcJet Systems, where he got fried by the flames of a jet engine. Who could have done such a horrible thing? For my efforts, I was rewarded with the Righteous Authority legendary laser rifle, of which I have no way to create ammo for, but it's a pretty good backup option. Also, holy shit, somehow my idiot savant perk procced and I leveled up twice. Hell yeah. Honestly, by this point, I was feeling pretty confident. I had a decent supply of ammo, food, and now I had armor. I felt like I was ready to advance in the story. I started hauling my ass through Boston with my sights set on the Great Green Jewel of the Commonwealth, where I do the same 7 things that I do every single time I come here. Ignore the super mutants when you first arrive, fighting them does nothing. Smack the shit out of Piper when you get to the gate, pretend Piper does not exist for the remainder of the playthrough, you'll thank me later. Go find Ellie, talk to her, and agree to help, and then give Sheffield a Nuka-Cola, this is super important. Then go feast on Kyle's dead corpse. I'm just kidding, I don't do that every time.
Yes?
And boom, just like that, you magically teleport to Park Street Station and you can go rescue Nick Valentine. I honestly fucking hated doing this mission because I did not bring nearly enough ammo. I also usually make like 17 bajillion caps when I do this mission because I can pick up all the submachine guns and then sell them, but no, some moron thought it would be a good idea to do this video for some reason. Speaking about the video, we're 7.5 minutes in and I appreciate you watching this far, you're honestly really cool. If you're watching this far, then you obviously like it, so if you choose to like the video or subscribe, that's fucking awesome, thank you. These videos take me forever to make and it is very difficult to find the time, so any support you give is seriously awesome and I will love you forever for it. Anyway, where were we? Oh yeah, Triggermen, feasting on corpses, beating people with a sledgehammer, and running out of bullets. Me and Codsworth did sodomize the first group of Triggermen without much issue. However, there was lots and lots of junk to be found in this vault, so best believe that I spent like 10 minutes scrounging every nook and cranny searching for everything that I could find. We progressed further into the vault where my lack of ammo became a serious problem. I was now extremely low on health, extremely low on ammo, and kinda fucked. But, do you remember those caltrops and bear traps that I made? Well, they were about to earn their pay. Are you fucking kidding? My bear trap flew right through the floor, I died, and I forgot to save. I had to do the vault stuff all over again. Kill the triggermen, loot the junk, stupid fucking game, I'm fucking sick of this stupid fucking bullshit, fucking Todd Howard, fucking... I eventually rescued Nick Valentine and we came face to face with Skinny Malone. I knew damn well I wasn't talking my way out of this fight as I was really grossly underspec'd to charisma, but I did save a handful of fusion cells for this fight as I figured I would need them. Spoiler alert, I did not. I ran into a back room to restore some health, bitch slapped Darla, then me, Nick, and Codsworth had no problem cleaning up shop. And that was it for Park Street Station. I agreed to meet Nick back at Diamond City, offloaded some of my more valuable junk to Myrna, and made some jet as I thought it would be useful for the upcoming fight. You wanna know what else would be useful for the upcoming fight? Fucking bullets. I knew that Kellogg would take a lot of shots to kill. Shots require bullets. Bullets require lead. I have no fucking lead. Now, I may have no lead and no bitches, but I do know a decent amount about Fallout, and I happen to know exactly where I could find a decent amount of lead. If you head southwest of Diamond City, you'll find Hardware Town, filled with plenty of miscellaneous junk and, more importantly, barbells. Me and Codsworth snatched up a healthy amount of barbells as well as some green paint that we can conveniently give to Abbott in Diamond City for a couple extra caps. I headed back to Sanctuary ready to craft up some more ammo, but before I did, I noticed that with the unlock of Gun Nut 2, I could upgrade my weapon a sizable amount, including a 50 caliber receiver. Count me the fuck in. Boom, bam, bop, bada bop, boom, pow, and I renamed it the Tetanus Applicator. I also crafted some more armor with some of the leather that I purchased and stole from Mo. Also, watch Codsworth getting beat the fuck up for absolutely no reason after I'm the one who stole the glove. Me and Nick broke into a house, made it to Fort Hagen, and eventually came face to face with the man, the myth, the balding Kellogg. He was a bit of a pain in the ass to fight, so I hid behind doors like a little pussy, and eventually he got low enough for Nick to... With Kellogg gone, the Brotherhood showed up to say hello, and unfortunately for this next part in the story, I have no choice but to talk to Piper. I have no idea why I showed up to this part of the story in a bathrobe. Me and Nick hit up the memory den to poke around in Kellogg's brain, and I ran back to my chemistry station so I could craft some Rad-X, as I would certainly need it if I was going to be going to the glowing sea. I chose Nick to accompany me for this task, even though he is only armed with a pistol and smokes cigarettes without actually having any lungs. We eventually found Shrek in his swamp, where he told us how we can enter the Institute and where we could find a courser. So we headed on over to Green Tech Genetics, and I was able to cruise through most of the gunners without issue, until I was lit on fire with a Molotov and unintentionally discovered the dump truck that my character was hiding from me. Also, that wasn't the only time I died at Green Tech Genetics. My soul was harvested a total of 3 times. I made it upstairs to the courser and yet again hid like a little pussy while slowly whittling him down with my pea shooter, which was becoming less and less reliable. I've never been a huge companion enjoyer in Fallout 4, but Nick came in extremely clutch here. Not only was Nick an extremely effective bullet sponge, but when he was inevitably downed by the courser, he plopped his ass right in the middle of the walkway, preventing the courser from walking towards me. Nick, you absolute fucking stud. I took my shiny new courser chip to the Freedom Trail, where I plunged into the depths of the Old North Church and gained access to the railroad's super secret hideout using their super secret password that a 6-year-old could guess. I was welcomed into the railroad HQ, where Tweaker Tom decoded my courser chip. Then I headed back to Sanctuary as I had some upgrades that desperately needed to be done. My tetanus applicator was laid to rest, and I crafted a hunting rifle, upgraded it, and then I named it Timothy. After upgrading my arsenal, I still wasn't sure which faction I wanted to side with, so I decided to take a trip up to the Pridwin for shits and giggles. The power armor that the Brotherhood uses is extremely cool and very tempting, but my mind was made when I had to listen to this dude's fuck-ass speech again. So I decided I'm siding with the railroad. I ran back to Desdemona and I agreed to help them recover Carrington's prototype. This mission is very boring, repetitive, easy, and I recorded this segment of the video at 5:55 in the morning. I have no idea why, but for some reason I did this mission with Brotherhood power armor, along with several fusion cores that I found. Now this is technically breaking the rules of the challenge, so if you hate me for cheating, feel free to dislike the video and leave a comment calling me slurs. However, it will not change the end result of this video, as I do not value your opinion. With the prototype recovered, I was welcomed into the family with an up-close shot of Dr. Carrington's nostril hairs. And oh yeah, I gave Deacon my Brotherhood power armor. I don't think that's cheating. Carrington sent me to go visit Old Man Stockton and assist him with locating his Geiger counter. Unfortunately, the man did not have a Geiger counter. All he had was a very nervous synth with a hankering to get his memory wiped. We breezed through the streets of Boston and H-222 was successfully delivered to his safe house. With the first few railroad missions complete, I was now able to side with them in the story. So after clearing a safe house and searching for teleporter parts in the adequately named Finding Teleporter Shit.mp4, I was ready to take a trip to the Institute. Upon arrival, I was seriously tempted to blast Sean's brains all over the fucking walls because I thought it would be funny. But I figured if I was siding with the railroad, maintaining a low profile would be in my best interest. So I joined the Institute and made the rounds, meeting with the division leaders of Bioscience, Facilities, Advanced Systems, and Synth Retention. I also collected several loose pieces of junk that I found lying around, and then scanned the Institute's network using Tom's holotape, and and met Liam, Benet, and Patriot, who were going to be my main contacts with the railroad moving forward. By this point in the playthrough, I was just blitzing through the main story as fast as humanly possible. I had to go talk to Desdemona again, but not before I made a quick trip to the Pridwin to trade in some technical documents for some caps. Desdemona seemed pretty thankful that the teleporter didn't turn me into ashes, so I told her that Patriot required admin credentials in order for Synth Breakout to succeed. Desdemona and Pam thought it best that Cambridge Polymer Labs might have the credentials that we require, so I went to Cambridge Polymer Labs, got a job, and did some random bullshit that I definitely didn't have to watch a tutorial on. When I finished my job, I got to meet the director, kill him, and then steal his credentials. I returned to the Old North Church, got patched up by Carrington, and Desdemona told me about her plan to break out all the Institute synths at once. This was a very ambitious plan that would require the synths to assist us in fighting their captors. Patriot agreed and said that the synths would be willing to help, however this would be extremely difficult. I would need to supply several weapons for the synths to use in the breakout, and that is a lot of junk that I would require, and I have no idea how I could. I ran to Sanctuary and hunting rifle, hunting rifle, hunting rifle, hunting rifle, and there was now a fuck ton of weapons that the synths could use. Now it's good that the synths had an arsenal of weapons to use, but it would be great if they would have actually used them. Because during our carefully planned ambush, they preferred to use kitchen knives. We did eventually kill the guards, but I would have appreciated it if they used the hunting rifles that I had worked very hard to provide. With the guards being dead, I ran back to head office and Father assigned me to my first task, where I was to recover a rogue synth who had started his own gang of raiders. I arrived with the Courser, mopped the floor with his gang, and made him do the Fenty Fold with his recall code. Then after that, it was time for the Battle of Bunker Hill. I absolutely adore this mission, it is fucking awesome. I am also still a part of all three major factions, so I made sure to alert the Brotherhood of Steel so we could achieve maximum chaos during the fight. To prepare for said chaos that I had brought upon myself, I used another skill point to advance to Blacksmith level 2. With these upgrades, I would be able to craft advanced armor, more specifically, metal armor. Metal armor would be a sizable upgrade from my leather, and I already had all the materials that I needed to craft it. I also had the materials to do it, so I crafted some jet too, because why the hell not? And so, with my upgrades complete, it was time to begin the battle. I arrived with my Courser escort, and chaos ensued. The battlefield filled with Institute synths, Brotherhood knights, railroad heavies, and Brotherhood squires, but the interesting part is that since I was still a part of all of these factions, I was able to kill all of them without any penalty. Like, I could kill a Brotherhood knight in front of another knight, and he just wouldn't give a shit. So as I made my way into the town, I naturally slaughtered everyone I encountered before I realized that I didn't actually need to kill everyone. I could just walk right past them, and it would probably be smarter to save my ammunition anyways. Once I got inside, it was the same deal. I wanted to kill a few people, but when I saw the size of the health bars, I changed my mind. Nobody inside really gave a shit about me either, so I just waltzed right past everyone, except for the turrets, they definitely did mind. Me and my Courser escort made it to the synth room, and with a well-placed critical hit, he was dead. Also, for any cannibals watching, synthetic flesh doesn't taste very good. I should probably talk to Clayton about that. So with the Battle of Bunker Hill coming to a conclusion, and the Institute taking an L, Father wanted to speak to me. Me and Father discussed the battle, where I proceeded to tell the least convincing lie in the history of the world.
We were totally ambushed.
You can imagine that I find that very hard to believe.
Father still didn't suspect that I was a double agent and informed the Institute heads that I would be taking his place as head director of the Institute as he was dying. There was also an important task that needed doing. The Institute did not have enough power to continue its operations. Luckily, they knew exactly what they needed to solve it, and who exactly to send. Obviously, they should send the future director of the Institute and one single scientist. Genuinely, what the fuck were they thinking? Before I delved deep into the building crawling with walking tanks, I headed back to Sanctuary to craft a new weapon I unlocked with Gun Nut 3, the combat rifle. I gave my new weapon some upgrades, then disassembled some of my 308 caliber ammo, and used the scraps as well as my collection of junk to craft a shit ton of 45 caliber bullets. With these upgrades, me and my poor excuse for a companion were sitting ducks in the elevator, and had to deal with multiple Brotherhood knights. I almost died several times, but luckily there was some fresh bodies around for me to munch on. Me and Ali made our way through mass fusion before we came to the reactor room, where she made me grab the beryllium agitator, despite the fact that she was wearing a fucking hazmat suit. I ran into the room, got nuked by radiation, grabbed the agitator, and luckily they had a decontamination room or I would be royally cooked for this next bit. A sentry bot came flying out of the room next door and started lighting me up. I popped one of the jets I I crafted earlier to try and get a critical strike on his fusion core, but I failed horribly. The sentry bot smacked my scientist partner, then cornered me and killed me, forcing me to start back at the reactor. And so I grabbed the agitator again, but this time I wasn't gonna worry about trying to get critical hits. I was just gonna spray him with every single bullet I had, and it actually worked. Finally, I can get out of this fucking build. For the third and final time, I popped some jet, blasted the fuck out of him, got smacked by him, and then this time he blew up even closer than last time, but I didn't die somehow. I ate some food, and god fucking damn it, there's 2 assaultrons, you gotta be joking. I popped another jet and laid out the first one, but the second one wasn't as bad. While I was on my way out, it appeared that the lobby had erupted into quite the battlefield, so I ran right past it and then teleported back to the Institute. With the agitator dropped off, Desdemona told me that there was a courser heading to Ticonderoga safe house and needed me to go intercept them. The courser did not seem too happy that I was intruding on their operation and asked me to vacate the premises. I tried to pop some jet and blast his face off, but I was stuck in conversation and had to pop another one. I was able to clear the rest of Ticonderoga pretty easily, but there was another courser waiting outside who actually nearly killed me. I then went to visit Z114, who informed me that the Brotherhood of Steel was coming to invade Railroad headquarters. I sprinted back to inform Desdemona, and she gave me the railway rifle. I'll be honest, I completely forgot that this even existed, but it was actually way better than my current gun, and it was going to become quite useful in the Brotherhood raid. I helped the Railroad ass blast all the Brotherhood knights until none were left, and with that raid, we decided it was time for the Brotherhood to go. I ran back home to Sanctuary to upgrade my newly acquired railway rifle, which is actually super awesome as the ammo is super easy to craft. It literally only needs steel. With my new weapon upgraded, I made my way to Cambridge Police Station and wiped out all of the Brotherhood units defending it. Luckily for me and Bethesda, Tinker Tom has all the knowledge that the Fallout 4 plot requires, so he flew our vertibird up to the Pridwin where my railway rifle cut squires into tiny pieces and night Gatling guns nearly turned me into mashed potatoes. Very slowly, using my patented little pussy hide behind a wall technique, I cleared out the Brotherhood troops and planted the necessary bombs on the gas bags of the Pridwin. However, there was just one small problem. When I attempted to return to the command deck to make my impromptu escape, I was promptly shot into a million pieces. Something that I did not consider was that Fallout 4 automatically quick saves when you enter a new area, so they got to kill me again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again, until finally this one time I managed to get to cover fast enough and go back to my special technique. Several railway spikes later, I realized that I didn't actually need to kill them, I could just run away again. We made it back to the vertibird, got lit the fuck up from the Brotherhood units on the ground, I shot retaliatory pea shooter shots at them that literally did fuck all, and kaboom goes the dynamite. With the Brotherhood dead, that leaves only one faction left to take care of, the Institute. I teleport in, have a quick chat with Z114, and the plan is set in action. First, I must clear everyone out of the control room. The synth guards went pretty easily, but he did say everyone, so the Railroad teleported inside and it was time to go lay down some of the explosives. I gotta admit, even though I forgot this railway rifle exists, it is absolutely awesome and was a massive help in these later missions. I absolutely plowed through all of the synths, guerrillas, and unarmed scientists until I made it to the director's office, and there he was, my son. So vulnerable, so helpless, so... I activated the security lockdown override, and I also feasted on Sean's corpse. We made our way down to the reactor, planted the fusion charge, made it back to the teleporter. You're not coming, get fucked, kaboom. If by some miracle you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. You might like some of my other videos if you check them out. I try to get a video out about once a month, but this one took a little bit longer due to unforeseen circumstances, and I'm also a little lazy. If you enjoyed it and you subscribe, I manifest that you will find a $10 bill on the ground tomorrow. Leave a comment on what I should do next. Okay, bye.